on what self-care means for them. And my co-moderator is Marciano, Kent Marciano from Philippines. So please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Armen. Before anything else, I just want to make some special shout out to my family, Marciano and Flores family, to Mook Camp Laguna, and to all our wonderful viewers tonight. By the way, this is Kent, an ESL instructor from the Philippines, and tonight a co-host of Armen. Welcome everyone to our second social and emotional learning series. Basically, you will expect to listen to the different perspective of teachers around the globe as they discuss about self-care and the life. So now I'm gonna hand over this microphone to Armen to introduce the names of our lovely and fantastic speakers tonight. Armen?
Thank you very much, Marciano. Our first presenter is going to be Mar, and she'll just introduce herself. And go ahead, Mar, from Spain.
Hi, hola, ¿qué tal? I'm Mar, and I love about Spain and other Mediterranean countries that we are really sociable people.
Beautiful. Our second presenter will be Sir Bryant.
Hi there, good evening. I'm Brian from the Philippines, and one thing that I love from my country is the way we welcome our visitors. We're very hospitable.
Fabulous. Our next presenter is going to be, I believe, Karen.
Hi everyone, my name is Karen Sital and I'm from Mauritius. What I love about my country is that we're like a melting pot of cultures and we're able to live very peacefully with that.
Fabulous. And then our next presenter is going to be Olga. Oh, actually, Joel, excuse me. Go ahead, Joel, from Panama.
Hi, my name is Joel Alvarez from Panama. I'm very excited to join this event today. What I like from about Panama is that we can be close to the beach in minutes, and we can go to the mountains in minutes. So we can experience both um, scenarios, and the people. Panamanians are very welcoming. Thank you very much.
Fabulous. And we have Olga as well from Colombia. Thank you, Joel. Oh, you can unmute yourself and we can hear who you are. Thank you. Well, while she's unmuting herself, Olga is an educator as well of ESL. We can't hear you, Olga, but she works in training teachers. Oh, go ahead, Olga. No, no sound. It's okay. We'll have her figure out the sound in a moment. So I'm doing my best to make this live work. It seems to be not working properly, but we'll get it. I'm gonna just keep trying. So go ahead, Marciano.
Yeah, it's not working.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know why it's blocking, so I'm going to actually just share it on my own timeline and then share it there, and it should work better. We'll see though.
Okay, so I just want to introduce again myself. Hello, maayong gabi sa inyong tanan. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kent, an ESL instructor from the Philippines, and tonight I will be the co-host of Armen. So one thing I love about my country is the magnanimous and colorful festivals we celebrate annually in each region. Because first, it signifies our identity, and second, it seems that it is a collective memory of our country. Yeah, that's it.
Fabulous. So with that, we'll just give a quick overview of what our article is that we were going to discuss, and it's on the topic of self-care. I'm trying my best to get this to work here. We'll see where it is. So, today we want to talk about self-care and what it means to each of us. And just a quick overview of the article is that we are practicing self-care in different ways now since we're working from home. And this can be different strategies that we use, and what we're going to share about is what that means for all of us. So, I'm going to just introduce our first introducing the person who is Mar. Let's see here.
Okay.
Mar, we'll stop my share, is a...
Okay. So let me introduce Mar.
Go ahead.
So, yeah. Okay, so I think everyone is excited. So let's begin with introducing our first resource speaker. Now, she is a guidance teacher from kindergarten to university, as well as a secondary English teacher from Spain. She also participated and coordinated in some of the professional development series that promotes guidance and dynamics in tutoring hour. What she is so passionate about is connecting with teachers all over the world. So please join me as I welcome her. She is none other than Ms. Mar Mollet from Spain. Hi, Mar. How's it going?
Hi. Hi. Thank you for that wonderful presentation, Marciano.
So we are so
great.
excited to have you here. And
Me too.
I know that we are also excited to listen to your favorite quote. So can we listen to your favorite quote?
Yeah, my favorite quote.
You ready?
It's taken from a general idea of the article because I'm not really quoting the article. In fact, I'm quoting an article that I wrote myself on the little blog I have. But it's a thing I usually tell other teachers when I'm doing teacher training about tutoring skills to them. And the quote is, talking to yourself and your students kindly can reduce a lot of anxiety and promote self-care, of course.
Okay, wonderful. So do you want to elaborate it? Or
Well,
what is just that?
I think it speaks for itself. I mean, how you talk to yourself and to your students, especially in stress moments, is very important to keep self-care yourself as a teacher and with your students in a classroom, which is usually a stressful environment. So,
wonderful. For that, I want to ask you a follow-up question. Is it okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the question is, how do you support your students and fellow educators to practice self-care?
Well, there's a lot of things I think as educators we can do to do that. Though sometimes in teacher-students world, especially in the formal education world, it's not a very popular topic. But it's very necessary. So I think the first thing to do is, be conscious about the need of self-care, which I've been for some years. That's why I try to teach that to teachers when I do teacher training. And I use the word teach a lot in the sentence. And apart from that, I think to promote other teachers' initiatives to bring out self-care in class, like, for example, the teachers that do mindfulness or even some relaxation in class or some things like that, sometimes those teachers are seen like they are a bit, hippie or not well seen. So one thing I do is I support all those people that do some self-care material in every class. Also, I take my self-care very seriously. I do all that by myself. And recently, I had a gap year of teaching, and as I was saying, I was teacher training to two high schools. And the training was mostly about nonviolent communication and how this can affect self-care in classrooms. And it was related to what I already said about the quote.
Great, Mark. Okay, so what I like about your speech is that you mentioned about relaxing. So it is very, very important for us to relax sometimes, especially if we want to, if we have a lot of things to do, so we are burned out. So we need to relax. We need to do something, okay, like jogging or traveling and so on and so forth. Now, I think I would like to open the floor to other panelists. If you want to express your opinion about Mark's insight, anyone? Let's start with Sir Bryant.
First and foremost, I think her ideas were, really related right now that we're in this pandemic situation. It is us, the educators, who must know how to take care of ourselves first before we show it to the learners around us. So I think it was a good sharing from her.
Fantastic. Okay, so how about you, Karen? Do you want to share? Okay, so your microphone is not working. Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'm happy to hear what Mar is doing at her level to support self-care with students. And what I just want to add is that in our school, in the school where I work, we do have a program that we set up before, just before the quarantine started. So that program was called Blue Star for our students, and teachers would be involved. It's a group of teachers involved in a series of activities after school time. And those activities included learning how to cook, indoor games, and old school games, flying kites, and sports also. And this was our project for this year, to help students disconnect from their phones and social media so that they get to learn about some self-care. We also did some yoga and meditation. These were all included in that series of activities that we proposed to our students.
Wow, so that is an exciting activities that you have in your school. I
Yeah.
hope that I am there in your school attending yoga and something like that. Okay, how about you, Joel? Now let's hear from Joel.
Hello.
Do you
Hello.
want to add something?
I really like the idea of being connected. That is very important. By this kind of connection.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Yes. I like the idea of having this
Yes.
kind of connection and doing something extra, right? I like that because That will help us to challenge ourselves to find ways that keep us busy and useful.
Thank you very much, Joel. Now I think, how about Olga? So let's hear the idea of Olga. Hello, Olga. Can you please introduce yourself first? No, I cannot hear you. No. Okay, it's okay. So how about Allegra? So do you have any idea about what um, Mar said? Or do you want to comment on what Mar said? All right, I
Yeah,
think that's all. Okay, go
I'm not
ahead.
I'm not really formally on the panel, but considering I've been in this field for like 40 years, this is my 40th year of being in teaching English as a second language. I would suggest that I agree with what you've said about yoga and meditation as being really important. I think if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't help our students. And I think it's really important moving forward that we are in the right frame of mind, because teaching them those skills like simple breathing techniques is really part of this process. So that's it.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Allegra. So I'll introduce our next presenter, who is going to be Karen, I believe. Karen's actually it's Sir Kent Bryant. Excuse me, Sir Bryant from the Philippines, and he's going to
Hi,
find.
hi, hi there, Armen.
Hi. So you are an educator. Give us a little description about where you teach, just so we know who you are, and I can
Oh,
also.
sure.
Go ahead.
Definitely, I'd love to. So, yeah, thanks again for introducing me. And again, you can just call me Brian. I've been teaching for almost a year in a formal school, but I've been in the ESL, or I would say online teaching platform for almost 3 years. I've been teaching Asian students the different types of English, so basic communications up to business English. And yeah, currently now I'm in a formal school. I'm handling grades 11, teaching English and entrepreneurship.
Okay, so that's nice, sir. Okay, so I think let us welcome our second research speaker, Sir Bryant Atanta. Now, Sir Bryant, can you tell and explain us your favorite quote?
Oh, sure. I would love to. So I have here the quote from Katie Reed, a writer, speaker, and a mental health advocate. So she said, self care is giving the world the best of you instead of what's left you. So when we're trying to share our thoughts, it would be best to give what we really hold on, meaning the best idea that we are living into rather than what's on our mind, the current state that we have. I believe that if we always give the best that we can rather than what's left on us, it will really showcase who we are as an educator. That's why I really enjoyed that quote from Katie Reed.
Fantastic. I agree to you more 100%. Okay, so you cannot give what you have because you yourself is not ready to, or you yourself is broken. So you have to take care of yourself. That's nice. So now I just want to give you a follow-up question. Now I want to ask you this question. Would it be okay?
Oh, go ahead.
How do you practice self-care during quarantine?
Oh, I have here five, how would I say, strategies that I usually do currently that we're facing this pandemic situation. Here in the Philippines, we've been almost quarantined for a month. So I'll start first with the first one. So make time to unwind. So there are lots of projects that can make us happy. So first and foremost, what I usually do, I spend time reading. Hard copy, soft copy of books. I also write because as an educator, we must practice, our writing skills. It's not just we're focused on one aspect of being an educator. And then also, I enjoyed watching movies because as a person, that's one of my hobbies that I usually do. And then second, exercise to promote good health, the physical aspect of an educator. I'm an ultramarathon before, or an ultramarathoner before, but now I just do a little bit of jogging just to keep myself fit. And I'm not getting any younger. So I must make sure that I'm physically fit, even if I'm just staying at home. And then the third one, we should be mindful to support our immune system. And how can we do that? First and foremost, we must eat healthy food. Right now that we're at home, this is the time that we can cook our own special meals. So we can be sure that the ingredients that we're using are 100% safe and the ingredients are really, helpful for our immune system. And then the fourth one would be take breaks from the news. I'm not sure if all of us would agree in here, but then it would be best not to dwell into the news because the news will give us negative thoughts, and as an educator I believe that we must be an agent that would give positive thoughts to everyone around us, not just to the learners that we're teaching but to everyone. So let's take breaks from this news, and finally let's remind ourselves why we're experiencing this. Let's not blame other countries as what we usually hear from the news, but let's be mindful, or let's think, why is this happening? Let's consider lots of aspects. So those are the five things that I usually do now that I'm on quarantine. That's why I can say to every one of my colleagues in here that I'm really fit physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Wow, that's great. Okay, anyone who would want to comment or to share your personal thought? Karen? Okay, so let's give the floor to Olga. Are you ready now? Okay, so let's hear from Olga now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clear and loud.
I'm super sorry, but I was having some internet issues. Thank you for having me. How I take care of myself and teachers around me. Lately, I decided to open a community for English teachers who are not native speakers of the language. And it's helped me a lot also to, like the serving others. Doing that, it has helped me a lot to deal with my own, like frustration this time because I'm in lockdown and I have children and we're doing homeschooling and I lost my job. So many things that are going on around. And I believe that when we're able to serve and smile every single day, it's a way to look after yourself as well. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm doing right now, serving my English teachers and colleagues, helping them out, and working a lot on these yoga and meditation and mindfulness strategies and techniques for them to be able to cope with their frustrations and their anxiety as well.
What a beautiful insight, Olga. So I like the way how you help other people to become happy or to spread positivism through the activities that you have given them. Okay, so anyone who would want to comment or to share your personal experience when it comes to how you take care of yourself during pandemic. How about you, Joel? Do you have any idea?
Hello.
Okay,
I'm not good
come
at
on.
cooking, but now this experience has forced me to learn how to cook. And now I say, wow, it's nice, to try new things to taste. And I think it's a way of trying to find this challenge, where it connects to you what you want to do, or probably you have not tried before. And it's something interesting that I have found here is that you know those things that you say I cannot do it, I don't have time. It will take me more time to learn that. Try now that you are alone, or if you live with somebody, or you share with somebody, and try. And I think it's very important what Olga said, like what to give. It's not just us now. It's if we are trying to help us, but at the same time, how I share that with others, how I share that, what I can give to others. You know, and I think it's very and I think it's very important um, to to think this, if I have something that I can give and share it with others.
Wow, fantastic, Joel. So thank you for sharing your insights. How about you, Mar? Do you want to share something?
Well, yeah, sure. Well, it's amazing because I'm doing everything that Sir Brian said to myself on this lockdown, and that in Spain, as you know, has lasted for 3 months now. And and well, as to socializing, it's difficult because, as I said before, here in Spain we are very sociable, but on the outside. I mean, a lot of people here are having difficulties to adapt to the new way of socializing. It has not been my case, but the case of a lot of people. So I've enjoyed a lot the Zooms, and I've connected with people around the world, and I've enjoyed it a lot, but I know that's not the experience of many people here. So I've wondered really how to help or how to, shift this experience as it has been for me. It has been, an increase of of um, socialization in a way that is better for me because I've met people that are like in my level of thought, or the way of other facilitators, or people that are, intellectually similar to me. And I've wondered how to help people to, experience that, and experience more self-care, more time to self-care. But it has been really difficult to get that outside my experience in this lockdown.
Fantastic, Mar. Okay, so I want to hear more about Karen. Are you ready to hear? Or are you ready to share your insight?
Can I add one comment before I move forward?
Okay, come on, go
Mar,
ahead.
there's different ways, like you said, of looking at this pandemic. There's thousands of people around the world who are dying. Millions of people in my country in the United States have lost their jobs, as well as other countries globally. But what you're describing is that um, there's some positivity that's coming out of this distancing, and I really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm,
You're 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 giving an example of looking at things in a resilient way. Resilience, we said it last time, is creating,
mm-hmm.
um, looking at a situation. So I just want to thank you for that. I think it's a really good point. And you know, that's what we're trying to do right here, right now. But also, not everyone can connect in the same way. Like this is a computer. I'm looking at a piece of glass and plastic and metal. So is that really the same as being with people? No.
Okay.
But at the same time, we do our best to deal with it. And I just want to thank you for that point, Mara. And with
Thank
that,
you, Armen.
yeah, with that, I'm going to introduce our next presenter.
Come on.
And his
Okay,
name
go
is
ahead.
his name is Joel. He's Joel Alvarez from Panama. He's a trainer, and he started an organization called Let's Panama. And he really enjoys helping educators become better learners and leaders. And he's going to introduce himself. I just introduced him. He's going to share his favorite quote that relates to self-care.
Hello again. I'm very glad to share with this um, group of talent teachers, right? And experienced educators. I'm taking notes of everything we share here because I consider this very interesting. I'm from Panama, soy de Panama, muy contento de compartir acá con ustedes. Something that I have next to my place, I have created a workstation in my place here at home, and I have here next to my desk, in this big quote, and I share that with everybody that I talk every day. United, there is nothing we cannot do. Right? United, there is nothing we cannot do. And in this kind of situation, we have to work together and help each other. And I think that this situation came with a purpose of helping what I give. How can I help others? And I have experienced this in many, um, you know, many situations. People that do not have anything to give are the ones that they wanted to give. People that are kind of experiencing more challenging situations in this pandemic are the ones that want to help others. And this is the end of the bottom line of this is how can I support? What can I give? And this is something that I share with my students every day. And no matter what your experience, help other just with a call, just with sending a text message like how are you feeling, if everything okay, we're gonna stronger, we last longer, as we're it's like how can we connect just with that word, and you have no idea how these kind of text messages impacted me, like hey, how are you, from people that I have time without talking. This is very important. United, there is nothing we cannot do, no matter where we are. And you see what we're doing right now. We're helping others. We're sharing with others, no matter where we are. And I think something that we can do in this kind of what I have after reading the article that is really helpful. I'm gonna share that with my teachers right away. With this event. Mostly that, having that, like, sleeping, exercising, practicing mindfulness, that Olga has helped me a lot with her Instagram account. Stay connected. More than that is, as I said before, is challenging yourself, right? Challenging yourself. What thing you have not done before that now you have the time to do it? What thing you say, I didn't have time to do that before, I didn't have time to work on that. And I can tell you an example. I have been trying to learn how to play the guitar for years, and every new year resolution was the first one: buy a guitar, play my guitar. And now is the time, right? I bought my guitar, I have my guitar, I'm taking online classes, and I say, wow, this is nice. So, and then it's like, how can I divide my day? And then I have divided my days into three important aspects, right? You know, my physical, health, right? I need to exercise. I need to, practice uh, mindfulness and other things. My emotional, part, and my spiritual part, right? So during the day, I need to practice three important, at least one of the things. What is my emotional aspect, right? What makes me feel happy? if is watching a movie makes me feel happy, I'll do it, right? If calling somebody and just talk about tertulias, I'll do it. Just texting, like, it's like what my emotions, I need to feel that, and I need to do that before starting my classes. I teach at the university level, and my classes are during the evenings. So could you imagine everybody's stressed out after a tough day? Some people are doing, homework, activities, they are working from home, they are doing teleworking, and then I'm coming to my evening classes with like, you have to do that. So I start my classes with with a brain teaser activity, right? With a game, with something that to break on the class, and it's like I imagine that I am in my classroom. We do that, like, for example, and with every class is a theme, is a topic, or is bring something. So yesterday class was about wearing a cap, wearing your favorite cap. So tomorrow class is about bring your favorite mug. So it's like, how can I create an environment of not just like being in front of a screen. The teacher has to say this, and I need no. It's like being relaxed, get ready for having fun, no matter where you are. And then we start like breaking out the rules of the real classroom by sharing what is something happy. And my one of my questions, what's something that makes me feel happy, and what's made me feel smile today? What's something what helped me to to feel good? What did I do that others like? So it's like start. I do that with my teachers and my students, sorry, and with my teachers, and then I practice something you know crazy games, right? Crazy games. And I do apply a lot of gamification in the classroom, a lot of gamification. And that has helped me a lot. And please, importantly, as teachers, I know it's a tough time. It's not difficult. It's difficult, but at the same time, it's a learning experience to know our talents. I was kind of hesitant about online learning. Now I am becoming like not an expert, that I have learned a lot. And I can, my second semester hasn't started. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do in September when I start my second semester, because it makes me feel like, wow, we can do this, we can do that, we can connect. And importantly, it's like enjoying what I'm doing. If I enjoy what I'm doing, I am, and this help others, go ahead. Thank you very much. I talk a lot.
Joel, you said so many deep pieces of wisdom. I first want to appreciate all of them, and thank you so much for sharing it. One thing that I just want to repeat back that I heard you say was that we're only as valuable as what we give. And I think this is such an interesting point, because what it means is that your value is how you help people. And I think that what you're saying is reminding us about that. So it's interesting, but also what you said is that in order for me to help other people, I need to help myself, right? Because if you don't help yourself emotionally, physically, spiritually, creatively, then what happens is part of you is lost. And then it's really hard to help other people because you're not even there to help. You're already concerned. So I really appreciate that wisdom and so many things that you said, and about, learning through this situation and learning how to take care of yourself in ways that you never would have before. But because of this opportunity that we call COVID, which is also a great travesty, a great problem, you're using it as an opportunity to grow. So, if anyone else would like to share, I would love for you to share, how are you using this time to take care of yourself and to grow? Anyone can unmute themselves and share with us. Please just unmute and just share. But thank you, Joelle. That was beautiful.
Hi. Can you hear me well?
You're good. We can hear you all the way from Colombia to Philippines to Spain to Panama to Mauritius.
That's so lovely and, like inspiring that we are here, no matter where we are right now, no matter our personal struggles, that we're able to serve other people. And I agree with you, Armen, and with Joel, when you were saying that we just have to give it a try and give. Oftentimes we think that giving is something that you do when you have extra, but I think that this thing called COVID and the lockdown has allowed us to look inside, find those devices that we have, personal devices, spiritual devices, communication and giving devices, and just make the decision to do something for others. It's beautiful to see how teachers around the world are sharing their knowledge regarding how to use the technology, how to give synchronic classes, how to spend their times with their children, do the homeschooling part, everything. In my case, I believe that while we do this, and if we're able to give something, probably our experience, that's all I can give right now. So I say, well, that's valuable for some teachers. And even though it started as a very, like small gesture of giving, me sharing my yoga and mindfulness strategies that work for me in challenging times, it has been very humbling to receive so much encouragement from other teachers and to see how much we have to give from ourselves. So that's like the first part. One suggestion that I would give to all the teachers that are probably giving, classes right now via Zoom or other systems, probably they also have their children, so they have to do the homeschooling as well, and run their houses, everything. It's just try to be mindful and accept our emotions. I found myself, I'm usually a very happy person, and I love teaching and I love sharing with people, but I found myself sometimes feeling down, feeling anxious, about the things that I don't know are going to happen, what's going to happen with my professional life, with my family, with the world. You watch the news, and sometimes it's heartbreaking to see how so many people in the States and other countries are suffering right now. So I think that when we try and consciously start being mindful and accepting whether we are happy or we are anxious or we are not feeling strong one day, it's a very important start. I think that understanding that even when we're vulnerable, we can continue to share, we can continue to find internal devices in order to reconnect with happiness, with joy, and with gratitude. That's super important, and I'm sure that that's going to reflect and to connect, that emotion, those positive emotions that we can find inside. It's going to connect and to reflect on the people around us. So that's one thing. I think that it's also important when after we accept and we're mindful of our emotions, whether positive or negative, just to try and shift to something even more positive. What I do sometimes is just go to the mirror and smile and remind myself that I am doing my best, that I can continue to do my best, I can keep going and try to do something for somebody else. Probably, like Joel was saying, I will just send a message, a positive message to somebody, or I will go to my community and share a quote from something that is inspiration from an inspiring person. And even if I'm sad in that moment, that's going to help me shift my emotions to something more positive. So giving, gratitude, and accepting that we can be happy or not so happy, but that's okay. we're doing our best. To all the teachers that are connected with us today, I just want to remind you that you're wonderful, that our jobs, our professions are incredibly important in the world. Never forget that, and that I'm sure that even in the bad days, we're doing our best and we're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Um, Thank you so much, Olga. I think you've touched all of our hearts, and we really appreciate your sharing. I heard so many things, but one of the things that stood out to me a lot was our ability to be vulnerable. Right now, we are all very vulnerable, emotionally, financially, physically. The vulnerability in our society right now is so strong that all we can do is reach out to others and look for support in community, because the things that we did in the past, my life, my family, my job, my this, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my whatever, these, my husband, my wife, these ways of looking at your life are limited, unfortunately, because we talked about it last time. There's three levels of connection and loneliness. The first level is you feel you don't have an intimate relationship. The second level is you don't have friendships. The third level of loneliness is feeling you don't have a community of like-minded people who believe and who are working towards something similar. And yeah, I will give maybe one person a chance to respond, or two, because I want to give Karen a chance, because I know we're getting near the end of our time. But thank you, Olga, for your deep sharing. Does anyone want to respond to the beautiful thing Olga said? The beautiful things. Please, Mara, go ahead.
Just brief, because I want to give Karen her time.
Yes.
Thank you, Olga. You touched my heart. I want to say that this pandemic has allowed me to, get less lonely in this third level of loneliness you were talking about, Armen. One of the groups that saved my life, literally, in this pandemic, and that has allowed me to share everything, is a group of people that we met in a course last year of entrepreneurship. And we have been having meetings ever since. And when the pandemic started, we started to see each other on Mondays regularly. I know some of them will be watching this because they are teachers, and some of them will be just watching for fun and because they share it. And I'm really glad, because it was the only group where we could share vulnerability and make a project of that. And that was really special, the group climate that generated it. It has continued, and I've tried to bring this feeling into the world, and it has been difficult until now that we are doing more. A lot of people are in this mindset of trying to connect through vulnerability. I'm really thankful to this group, and I wanted to mention it and give it away and share some of its wisdom with all of you.
Thank you, Mar. We really appreciate it. And you're right, because, personally and professionally, we're meant to be the strong one. Take care of everyone. Forget about yourself. You don't matter. These are the kind of lessons that I've learned. I don't know if anyone else learned these lessons during their life, but what matters is my work. What matters is people telling me that I'm good. These are things that are important, but they make us lose who we are along the way. And once you lose your job, or you lose a family member, or you lose something, you begin to realize, what matters is me. And how I can take care of myself will help me take care of others more deeply. So, thank you for your wisdom. And I'm going to introduce our next speaker. And for those who are listening, the people who we weren't able to get live before, we're going to post the whole video after, because they shared some wonderful insights And I want to just acknowledge that I wasn't able to do it. I'm using my phone to do this. I couldn't get it live, but we will get your insights for Mr. Kent and Bryant, and Allegra. So thank you for your sharing. And I'm going to start now with Karen, who's an educator of chemistry and also uses music in her teaching. Can you share with us, Karen, a quote that you live by or that's important to you?
Yes, thank you, Armen. So the quote that is important to me is put on your oxygen mask first. And this means a lot to me. And what I understand by this quote is that self-care is a moment-to-moment regular practice. And it's okay to say no when you have additional responsibilities that feel heavy for you. That is self-care. It's okay when you choose to sit down and do nothing and relax in nature. That is self-care. It's okay if you choose to give your attention fiercely in something that you're very passionate about. That is self-care. So doing things that make you feel alive, like as if you're putting on your oxygen mask, so that would be self-care to me.
Beautiful. Thank you. And a follow-up question is, you know, you shared how you help yourself, and we want to know, you're a teacher of chemistry there in Mauritius. What are you doing? And this could be when in person or virtually. What are you doing to help your students feel cared for, feel loved for, to feel they have your attention? What are you doing to help to support them?
So since I am a science teacher, I often use like scientific evidence to pass on messages of self-care, like eat healthy, do a lot of exercise, and I give them like scientific evidence for them to believe me, because they'll say, yeah, the science teacher said to breathe, the science teacher said to drink a lot of water. So that's kind of my tip that I do to help my students take care of themselves. So that would be more like physical self-care for them. Now, about maybe a little bit of spiritual self-care, it would be really from time to time sharing quotes that I like. This is something special that I do in not all of my classes, but I do share like wisdom quotes that they will take away after my science class. So that's about spiritual self-care.
Thank you, Karen. What I'm here to say is that you're connecting what you're teaching with who you are, and then along the way, it's both personally and professionally meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like it starts with you feeling okay, and you're able to help others feel better.
Yes.
Would anyone like to share their wisdom um, in response to what Karen shared? And the prompt is in regards to how you help students take care of themselves. We would love to hear.
I'd like to say one thing. I think there's been a lot of great advice going out to everyone concerning what they need to do to take care of themselves. But the one thing I haven't heard is that people have not talked about our relationship to nature. So my advice to everybody is get out, seek nature. Right now, the epidemiologists and virologists say that going for walks and getting outside and possibly opening up and socializing in small numbers might mean going to a park. I'm going camping in 2 weeks. I'm really excited because it takes me back out to nature. So get out there and enjoy the surroundings around you, because nature will not pass on this virus to us. That's my thought.
It's a beautiful point, and I just need to repeat it. I run 3 times a day because I get overwhelmed and I get anxious and I get challenges. So, and I do it in nature to connect with nature. The more we connect, as Kent was, I mean, as Bryant was saying before, if I'm watching news all day, I'm connecting with the energy of human beings, talking about all the problems they create. So what you're saying is cutting off from that human kind of problem world and returning back to nature, our creator, right? In a deep way, Panchamama. Anyone want to comment to that? It's a great point. It's so good, Allegra. I think that we're really near to our time and I want to respect it. But I do really want to give a moment to Bryant if he wants to share anything, because I was just able to put it live here, and as well as Mar, because I wasn't able to get it live before. Are you here, Bryant?
Yes, I'm here. And yeah, thank you. I would love to give a a quick feedback with the idea of going back to nature. Because yeah, thank you for crediting my idea a while ago about running. I think the more we connect with nature, the more we become human.
Mm.
That's why I really enjoyed running before. Not just now that I'm busy with lots of work, but I still try to find time to be with the nature. And I always tell my students that it's not bad to be part of the 21st century technology. It's not bad to use your gadgets. It's not bad to learn new things. But keep in mind that without your environment, without the nature, nothing, this won't happen. Everything wouldn't be here. So you must try to connect yourself again. Yeah, right now we're facing this pandemic situation, but then as we move forward, solutions are being made. So why don't we try to go back step by step, not the actual steps, or maybe we could say it's a baby steps, to go back again to the usual way we're doing. Because it's also bad to, it will be bad if we'll just be, sticking with this habit now, just staying at home, not facing the reality. So I really love that idea that we must connect back again to the nature.
I I so agree with you, Bryant. And what I'm hearing you say is that we are as much technology as we are nature
Yeah.
at our source of who we are. So what that means is that we need to connect to both of those things equally. Ooh, what happened? I'm on double here. And the way that I just want to share I do that is I try to go out for walks barefooted. There's something called earthing, and we have a lot of energy that technology gives us. And it's kind of like having a lot of energy, feeling like you can run a marathon, but just sitting down and your brain is running. So you need to put that excess energy into the ground and to release it. Mar, is there anything you want to add to this? Because I want to just make sure that your voice is heard as well.
Okay, just one thing. I really love. Okay, I'm doubles again. I really love connecting to the earth and going to nature. And in fact, that's the only thing I missed in this lockdown, because here we aren't that able to go to places where you have nature around. So, but I remember that when everybody was in a strict lockdown, the earth recovered. So I think we have to be very mindful about what connection do we make to the earth and how do we protect it, because if we don't protect it, there will be no nature to go and enjoy an earth with. So I think we have to be very mindful about it. And I think I don't include that enough in my classes. I mean, of course, I teach English, as most of you, and teacher training and these things. And it's a topic that it's usually left for science teachers. I mean, the thing you were saying about scientific evidence, Karen, and I'm like connecting both things. I think that all teachers and all people should like take the responsibility out of that and include them in our language teaching, in whatever we teach, because I think it's really important. And also in mindfulness too, because you know, a friend of this group had a project that was called Reusable, which is, you know, getting a bowl that goes through restaurants, and the restaurant pays for the bowl to be reused of more than one client. This way, you know, you make less residues. She was really mindful about, okay, she did a mindfulness session. You are in a beach and you are relaxing and everything's great. And then she pressed on the PowerPoint, and it was a very polluted beach with lots of rubbish thrown on there. And you know, it stuck me. It was like, okay, of course, there's no mindfulness or no earth connected without the earth. So I think we should keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What I'm hearing you say is that in order to take care of ourselves, we need to take care of our world. And you know, the way our school system works is it tells us you're an English teacher, you're a science teacher, you're a math teacher, you know, you're this teacher, you're that teacher. Don't talk about anything else if it's not related to your lesson. But what you're saying is that, you know, we need to think around our daily actions, the daily actions our students take. If we want to show them self-care, we need to live self-care. And self-care is imagining that the world is actually ourself, because it is, right? If anyone has a final thought, I just want to respect the hour time, but Mar, everything you said was, I mean, we all agree, and I know Marciano agrees. I know Joel had to go to a meeting, and, you know, we're just listening deeply to each other. So maybe an open question could just be, what did you learn today? And everyone can share it, even for, you know, 30 seconds. What did you learn, something new today that you want to share? Maybe with your students, maybe just with your children, your own children, maybe with, you know, just for your own life. But yeah, what did you learn today?
So I will comment on what I have learned from Mr. Joel. He shared a really nice tip about when you're doing online classes that connect with your students by using, for example, like, wear your favorite cap today. And I really like that idea. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Beautiful. Maybe Sir, who would like to go next? Bryant?
All right. My thoughts after hearing wonderful ideas from everyone. I'm very lucky that I chose to be an educator. And I would say that I'm in this time now where I can, you know, express myself express myself, share my thoughts, and be with nature again. That's what I would be sharing to my students through online learning now, and I hope in not in the no. I really love doing physical teaching, so I would really love to share this experience to the upcoming learners.
Good point. Give them a hit of endorphins through your class. I love it. Someone else? Maybe Olga, you want to share what you've learned today?
I've learned and probably reassured something, that I'm not alone, and that makes me super happy. So yeah, that's what I learned, that there's a tribe out there. We're all interconnected, and the universe is so beautiful and generous that I am able to meet you guys, to learn from you, and to continue working together. So thank you very much. That's my learning.
Thank you, Olga. Mar, would you like to share what you've learned today?
It's the same thing. I mean, thank you for this wonderful opportunity to share, to contribute with you, and to know that I'm not alone. So thank you, Olga, and thank you, everyone. And I hope this becomes a group where we can participate and continue sharing and learning.
Yeah, we're here every week, I hope. Marciano, my co-moderator. Thank you, Mar. Marciano,
Okay.
please share.
So what I have learned from this session is that you have to, self-care is all about loving yourself and knowing yourself intimately. So in order for us to give or to share our love with one another, we have to take care of ourselves first. Okay, so we have to not just only our physical aspect, but also emotional, the wholeness or the totality in us. We have to take constant effort to prove that we are so strong, and then we can make a difference by just taking care of ourselves first. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Allegra, we'd love to know what you've learned as well. Thank you very much, Marciano.
I think what I've learned is what a great committed group of people, what they can do when they put their heads together and put forth ideas to teachers about not only self-care, but about maintaining their presence in a very safe and healthy way. I think we all need to be sharing these ideas because they can't just come from one person, they come from everyone. So as a group, we accomplish a lot more than what we can do individually. Thank you.
Good point. I almost want to share something that relates to that. In so many ways, we help each other and we forget and we think that we're solo. It's so easy to think I'm on a solo game. And Allegra has helped me, Karen has definitely helped me, Marciano has helped me, Mar has helped me, and I know will help me, and Olga as well, and Joel as well. And it's one of the lessons that I'm taking away is that, you know, what I give, I get back, but I don't give to get back. I give because I give. And I think that's why we all are teachers, is because we want to give. But sometimes we give so much of ourselves that there's nothing left inside, and we feel completely empty. And I think that's a sort of compass for how we need to stop and come back to what's important. And I've learned today about how nature is important. I learned today how our relationships are important, our friendships are important, having real conversations. Most people don't have real conversations like this. They say, "Hi, how are you?" "Oh, very good." And then they go, and that's it. Or they show something they did, and someone else responds, "Very nice." Very nice means nothing. These are empty words.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, also empty words. We want to go beyond very nice and very good and explain, one, how we feel, and two, how we send those feelings out to other people, which is why we're doing this social emotional learning series. So I know Joel had a meeting. You want to add anything, Marciano? Because I think we're going to close up now. But
Well, actually, I just want to give this opportunity to thank all the participants, Karen, Allegra, Joel, Bryant, Olga, Mar, and also you, Armen, for putting up this kind of activity. This is very essential because having this kind of talk can somehow change or can somehow help other people, especially all educators who are watching us, okay, or to our ideas or perspective on self-care is something that could help them. Okay, so last word that I would want to give them is or to take away is that we need to know more or we need to take care of ourselves. We need to know ourselves better, okay, or know ourselves intimately. That will be all.
Thank you. All right. We'll do a little bye-bye. We could wave bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, let me get a
Thank you so much.
let's get a picture of those who are left. Ready? I'll do 1 second. One second. It disappeared. So
Juan, hablando, bueno, quedamos en que ibas a pasar el día de hoy, que de pronto hoy tendría